Well, hello there, everybody. It is almost 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast, and the fight card is over. UFC Fight Island 7 is in the books, and it was capped off by Max Holloway with the performance of a lifetime against Calvin Kattar. Unbelievable. I mean, what can you say? I tweeted out that was 25 minutes of perfection from Max Holloway, and I actually think that perfection is an understatement. Like, we need a word stronger than perfection. That was absolutely incredible. I am Mike Heck. This is the first of two parts of our post-fight coverage here on the MMA Fighting YouTube channel. First, we will have the post-fight press conferences. We will hear from Max Holloway. We will hear from, I assume, UFC President Dana White. And then after that, we're going to have our post-fight show where we'll be joined by Laura Sanko, who was actually part of the LFA broadcast last night. So excited to chat with her and get her thoughts on this event. And Jose Youngs is in Abu Dhabi, getting ready to stream these press conferences for you. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
It's three in the morning. Just the definition of a beatdown. All in all, good night.
Yes. There you go. Carlos Condit gets the win over Matt Brown. That was an impressive performance. What a crazy fight that was. What a tale of like two different fights. Because I think maybe we expected like a stand-up brawl between Carlos Condit and Matt Brown. What we got was like a grappling clinic, which was pretty cool. But man, Jose, I got to get your thoughts on this main event. Max Holloway has had some great performances. I think people look at the Brian Ortega win as one of his best. I have to say, I think tonight was the best Max Holloway I've ever seen from start to finish. He came out fast, which isn't really typical of Max, although he did start fast in the second Holloway fight. But man, did he turn it on. That fourth round was one of the most incredible rounds of action I've maybe ever seen in my life watching this sport. What are your thoughts on Max Holloway's performance tonight, and was that the very best we've seen of him in his career?
I think it just depends on it just depends. I mean, he did finish Brian Ortega, so I guess like he didn't finish Calvin Kattar, but 50-42 is you've pretty much finished the guy. The only thing that kept Calvin Kattar's in that was his heart. But Brian Ortega isn't a striker. He's a grappler. He's a black belt. Like, that's his bread and butter. And Calvin Kattar has long said he's the best boxer in the division, and Max Holloway 50-42'd him, and then round 5 was basically Roy Jones in him. Halfway through the round. So yeah, I would say, in my opinion, this is his most impressive performance. But if you want to argue it's Brian because he got the finish, that's fine too. But anytime you 50-42 someone in a main event on ABC against someone who's supposedly the best boxer in the division, it's kind of hard to pick against that.
The world just throwing and heaping praise upon the former UFC featherweight champion. And Casey, I got to tell you, my friend, I have been getting lambasted on social media for my Calvin Kattar pick. I've also been getting lambasted. Hold on. I want to preface this. I'm also getting lambasted about my on to the next one prediction show pick of Calvin Kattar being the fighter of the year. And again, I want to preface this by saying I make these picks being on an island by myself. I want to be like the one guy to make this point, and nothing against Calvin Kattar, but I mean, I made that pick solely on the Max Holloway we have seen throughout his career up until today, because this is a different Max Holloway. This is a guy that was landing to the body. This is a guy throwing spinning kicks to the body. This is a guy throwing step-in elbows against a man who specializes in step-in elbows in Calvin Kattar. He did basically everything Calvin Kattar has done throughout his career to be successful to this point. He did that back to him and then some. What did you think of Holloway's performance? Because it was just so ridiculous.
It was unreal. It was unreal. I was expecting a competitive fight. I was picking Holloway, but that was just ridiculous. I felt so bad for Tyson. How do you say his? Chartier. When he's like in the 5th round, he's like, "Hey, Max is getting tired." I was like, "Oh man, you're throwing in, you're trying your best, man." But that was just unreal. I mean, like Jose said, I don't know if that's the best Max we've ever seen, but the Max that we saw tonight was without a doubt the prime. That's prime Max Holloway. That was just. And yeah, finishing Kattar. Actually, Kattar didn't even get dropped. That's kind of crazy. But was there ever like an official, like, did Kattar ever get dropped? Like, did he? No, I don't think so.
He was on Bambi legs, but didn't get dropped.
Yeah, he never got. Yeah, so there were many points, especially in that third round, where I think DC and everyone at home was going, they can stop the fight right now if they wanted to. But oh, man, that was just super. Max Holloway, I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he does it. His timing is just incredible. His cardio is incredible. The way he just Kattar could just never get into any sort of rhythm. Yeah, and once Kattar couldn't really set his feet and really throw his own combos with any efficiency, it was just all Max Holloway tonight. It's unreal. Just a great. Max Holloway fought so well tonight. You're thinking, you know what? Sorry, Ortega. They're gonna rip up that contract. They're just gonna do Volkanovski Holloway 3. Like it was one of those type of performances where like you kind of want Max. All right, let's do it again. You know, I mean, of course Ortega has to fight, but Max is going to be fighting for that title either this next fight or I don't know. He'll be fighting for it again. He is not done at 45 as far as fighting for titles.
I was like, at first I was like, there's very little chance that Max Holloway fights Alexander Volkanovski a third time if Volkanovski beats Brian Ortega. But after that performance,
exactly,
I don't care who wins that fight. He's next. Like he's either getting that third. He's earned the third fight no matter what, because this is a different guy. This is a different Max Holloway. I like this Max Holloway with a chip on his shoulder. I like how he was talking some smack, saying, I'm the freshman, huh? Bam! I'm the best boxer in the UFC. He's staring at the commentators and throws a right hand and lands it. I was like, man.
I gotta watch the replay, but was there a point, did Max like look at DC no look and slipped a punch? I swear he did. Like he slipped a punch while looking at DC.
And then he landed one of his own.
And
then he landed one. God, that was insane. What a crazy performance. Unreal. And Calvin Kattar, maybe the toughest man in the world. What did he take? Like, I need to see the numbers at the end, but he probably took 300 shots, maybe more in that fight. I think the fourth round, he took over 80 significant strikes. Like, and he smiled at the end of the round. Bloody and crazy. He sat there against the cage, a heaping bloody mess, and looked at Max Holloway and smiled at him and like high-fived him after the round. That's so crazy. And then he answered all of Tyson's questions in the corner at the end of the fifth round. How did he do that? I just don't get it. This sport is amazing.
As crazy tough as Calvin Kattar is, I'm gonna be kind of negative and like, man, I just hope this doesn't have long-term effects, because that was a lot of shots he took to the skull, and I mean, we just had a big story on this and stuff, so I just unfortunately for Calvin, with the loss, I don't think we're going to see him back inside the octagon. I think the UFC needs to be really careful putting him back in the cage against, because he has to go against another killer. It's not like he's going to fight some random dude. So I just hope this isn't a fight that really affects Calvin down the line. I hope this is just one night, took a lot of damage, he'll learn from this, and we're going to see him back in these high-level fights, because I was getting worried. That was a lot. There's a reason why we're saying that was incredible, because Calvin Kattar took an incredible amount of damage tonight, you know, and so
he did.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be negative. It's just a reality. Yeah.
I know a lot of people on Twitter were pretty vocal about the fight not being stopped. I know the broadcast team was pretty vocal about the fight not being stopped. Could have been stopped in the third, the fourth, and the fifth round. Definitely in the fourth round. I can't. Herb Dean, give him credit for letting this go on, or maybe to his detriment as well for letting it go on. But again, at least from what we saw, especially in between rounds, Kattar was beat up. Kattar was in trouble a couple of times, but he was still up against the cage, throwing shots, and he seemed to have his wits about him. And even in the post-fight interview with Anik, seemed to have his wits to him. So, yeah, he took some damage, but maybe he wasn't. You know, he seemed to be still there. You know,
I mean, these guys are built different. You know, so there's something different about these gentlemen, and that's almost the problem with MMA, in the sense that it just takes one shot. It just takes one shot. And Calvin, every once in a while, like pop 10 times, but then he'll throw a really strong hook. He'll throw a really strong elbow, you know, in that pocket. And Max would just, Max would have to still be defensive. He still has to get out of the way of these shots. He still has to respect Calvin Kattar even to the last second. But yeah, that's all. It's just I'm hoping Calvin just takes a long vacation. I hope Dana White gives them an extra 100K on top of whatever they got, not just that little 50K. I mean, that's he needs more money. That was national TV and ABC, the headline event, and he just laid everything out for the UFC and the fans, and that was fantastic. I hope he's reimbursed properly.
Yeah. I think he will be.
Yeah.
Holloway might double bonus tonight.
Yeah.
He's definitely getting a performance bonus. How could you not give him one? I don't know if you give him fight of the night, but you could.
Yeah.
There's some good ones tonight.
Yeah. There were apparently like 10 other fights on the card too, but that main event just.
I mean, Alessio Di Chirico knocks out Joaquin Buckley. We had Puna Soriano knocking out Dusko Todorovic. We had a lot of crazy stuff happen in this card. Matt Brown and Carlos Condit was fun. Li Liang knocks out Santiago Ponzinibbio. Man, what a first card on ABC. It was pretty outstanding.
Well, have you looked at our picks for the staff picks? Man, like it's we all tie. No, it's a 6-way tie.
Wow.
6-way. Everyone got the same amount. The points are a little bit different, but it's essentially a 6-way tie on our in-house picks.
I knew I was screwed. I mean, the trend continued from 2020. Every time I have a perfect prelims, I fall apart in the main card. I don't know if I got anything right.
These comments are coming too fast. I'm kicking the wrong one.
Fast and furious.
Yeah, I know.
UFC, best sport in the world.
MMA.
Being on ABC, very, very big deal. Very big deal tonight. I loved the old montage of Muhammad Ali and Howard Cosell having their moments on ABC over the years. That was very cool. We could have done without the Stephen A. Smith, Dana White segment. Definitely could have done without that. Oh, by the way, that fight was so crazy at the main event that I forgot about the quote-unquote decision. The decision. Oh, my God. I feel like we should address this now. I mean, Laura, I'm sure we'll talk about it with her, but I feel like we're gonna be able to get this out in the way we would like right now. What was that, Casey? I mean, seriously, what was that? We got teased. What did Nick Diaz say? Dana White sold us wolf tickets for 48 hours. Wolf tickets, and what we got was literally no change from UFC 254. Not one thing changed. What did you think of this? We basically threw out every sort of possibility except for Chuck Mindenhall, former MMA fighting employee, said, I hope this is a maybe. Like, I hope he comes out with a maybe. And we got a maybe. We got exactly that. What did you think of this decision and this build up to it? This is such a letdown.
I had low expectations coming into this, and it flew under that. I don't know about you, but like maybe about 2 words when was it Anik? When Anik was interviewing Dana, about 2 words into it, I could tell. I was like, oh, Dana is just, he has nothing. I don't, like, you could tell. And you know what? Actually, Jose picked up on it pretty well. I think when Dana was hyping this, when he said this decision will affect the main and co-main, I think that was a pretty good giveaway that we were getting 0 decision. I think Khabib already made his decision. It's just Dana.
He's retired.
He already retired. Like, I'm pretty sure we saw it already. Like, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. It was bad TV. It was bad everything, and it was kind of embarrassing, to be honest. But hey, it got us talking about next week, I guess.
John Anik, a consummate professional, was trying to like.
He's trying his best. Wow. A big maybe.
Yeah,
all right. Well, I guess they better fight extra hard next week. Yeah.
Ah, man, unbelievable. Wolf tickets galore.
Yep.
Craziness. So funny. Like how I said Max Holloway, like 25 minutes of perfection. We need a word stronger than perfection. We need a word stronger than letdown.
Yeah.
Like underneath, like this is just so bad. It was just so bad. We got bought in, hook, line, and sinker. But hopefully, like the casual folks are the ones that were on the fence that tuned in just for the announcement and hope to stick around for good fights. Hopefully, they weren't so let down by the announcement that they changed the channel. and put on like the Golf Network or something. Hopefully they stuck around and watched these fights because it was awesome.
So the crazy part,
so
Dana had his meeting with Khabib, and then Khabib said his thing behind the scenes once they closed the door, and Dana walked out of that meeting going, "Hey, I got an idea. Let me announce what Khabib said on the broadcast, and we'll build it up." That's what Dana was thinking, and that's I don't understand like how Dana came out of that meeting going, "Yeah, this will get people excited." I don't get it.
Here's what actually happened in the meeting, Casey. Want me to tell you what happened?
Yeah, please.
Khabib sat down on the couch and he said, "Dana, I know we're going to go to the UAE Warriors event to scout talent for our respective organizations to film Dana White looking for a fight. You know, this is why I'm really here. We're going to do some kind of deal with our promotions. I just want to tell you, you can spin this however you want. I'm actually more retired now than I was after UFC 254. Like, I'm more retired. Like, we need a word stronger than retired. That's where I'm sitting right now. But you can say whatever you want." And what Dana got out of that was, listen, do something impressive. Do something amazing. I just don't know what can happen. Like, Khabib should fight Max Holloway at this point. Like, you can't get any more impressive than that.
That's funny. I was actually thinking that during the fight. I was like, hey, Khabib versus Max. Maybe Max Holloway is a spectacular performance that will bring Khabib out of retirement.
Weren't they supposed to fight?
Yeah, in Brooklyn. Yeah, then they were signed and everything. They faced off, you know, they did they faced off. They had a really big press conference, but then Max had trouble cutting weight to 55. So because it was short notice. I think it was coming off the ankle injury too. But yeah, Khabib versus Max. Yeah, I you know what? I want to see that because we haven't seen Max Holloway lose the way if he fights Khabib and the way Khabib will beat him. We haven't seen Max Holloway lose that way. You know, just no one's been able to hold Max down and win a fight that way. So I mean, Conor did it, but there was a ankle injury from Holloway and a knee injury from Conor, so we're not gonna count that one. But yeah, you know, you're right. You sold me. Khabib versus Max Holloway. I'm down. I'm down.
I mean, that would intrigue me more than anything right now after watching that performance tonight. Good God Almighty. So we are going to hear from Dana White, apparently. The great Jose Youngs just informed me on our Slack channel. So Dana's going to be there. I'm sure he has a lot to say about the UFC's debut broadcast on ABC in this main event. And then we'll hear, I assume, from Max Holloway, because we thought we would hear from neither of these guys, that both of these guys would end up going to a local medical facility. Kattar, I'm sure, is going. Max will probably be here waxing poetically after that performance, as you should be. And maybe, you know, hopefully you want to Alessio Di Chirico this thing and say, listen, I only, you know, unless Calvin Kattar comes in and answers questions, I'm not answering anything. What did you think of that, Casey? Have you ever seen that before? Like a fighter coming in after a highlight reel win and just declining interviews because the winner and the loser should be interviewed?
A lot of times I do think we need to put more focus on the loser too post-fight, but not when the gentleman has just been seriously concussed. You know, if it was like a decision and, you know, people are still got their heads and wits about him, yeah, talk to the losing fighter, sure. But I don't think there was... I understood where he was coming from. I just don't think this was the right time. Like, it was on a prelim. You just smoked. There wasn't very much to talk to Buckley about, honestly, for that fight. Yeah, you shouldn't duck into that. But man, it was unique. But maybe it gets us talking more. Less is more, you know.
I think numbers wise on our YouTube channel, I think Di Chirico's 40 seconds of post-fight press conference was better than anybody else's.
Yeah, you know.
I think view-wise it's been better. All right, we have our awards, Casey. I don't know if you've seen these yet, but take your guess.
Okay, is it the traditional Fight of the Night and 2 performance awards?
Yes.
Okay. Fight of the Night. Oh man. Okay. Performance, Max Holloway. Performance, Lee. Man, Jericho gets screwed out then. And then Fight of the Night, Oh man, I want to give it to Felipe and Tafa. I love that fight.
That was a great fight.
I loved it. I'm sorry, Jose. What'd you say? Oh, Jose muted himself.
Oh, he must not have been talking to us.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's talking to someone else. Sorry. All right. Yeah. What is it?
You were 1 for 2 on the performances. Rico and Li Jingliang got the performance of the night. Fight of the night went to the main event, Holloway versus Kattar.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
But Holloway should have doubled up, if we're being honest. Like, if you're going to give that the fight of the night, Holloway definitely should have got a performance bonus for that. I mean, 50-43, 50-42 over a guy like Calvin Kattar, that deserves an extra 50. I'm sure Dana's giving them some extra money anyways.
I hope so.
Like,
and main eventing, and this is the first fight with even a limited crowd since the pandemic went full on, and first fight for ABC. So that was a big deal for the UFC at least, and Max deserves more, and you know what, Kattar deserves a little more too. So
good God, yeah. So there you go. There's your bonuses. We'll hear them again officially from Dana White in a matter of moments. Then we'll hear from Max Holloway, the man himself, after that incredible win, and then we'll have our post-fight show where we will answer all of your questions with Laura Sanko joining us. So that should be a lot of fun.
Going live with Laura Sanko.
Yes. I got to pull up the rest of the card just because, like you said, after that main event, it's almost like a blur at this point of everything that happened, for being honest. Because I wanted to give some shout outs. Austin Lingo, nice win. Jacob Kilburn, tough dude. That was a fun fight to open things up. Vanessa Mello gets her first UFC win against Sarah Morris. That was a
fight.
As AK would say, it was a fight.
That was a fight.
Ramazan Ameev, nice win over David Zawada. Carlos Felipe versus Justin Taffa ruled. What a great fight that was.
It did.
Hilarious. Rule. Good stuff. That was good stuff. I am a Carlos Felipe mark now.
He's always so angry.
That was a fight.
It was a fight. As our friend Aaron Bronstetter calls Carlos Felipe, the Thick Diaz, which is a pretty good nickname.
I feel so bad for Soriano after that knockout of Tusco. Did he knock out Tusco? Yeah. Dusko. I was thinking, oh man, that was the first finish of the night. That guy's gonna get a 50K, and then nope, we got nothing.
I'm sure he's gonna get something. Yeah, you're right.
First finish of the year.
First finish of the year.
Nice debut for Jocelyn Edwards, defeating Wu Yanan. Good win for her. Short notice, gets it done.
Yep. El Paso Zone.
El Paso Zone.
Yeah.
The only MMA gym in El Paso, apparently. So my mom says I was talking to her about it.
Is that where she lives?
Yep.
She
trains at top team El Paso, something like that.
Cool. And she's Venezuelan? Is that what it is?
Panamanian.
All right, well.
She's the first female Panamanian fighter in UFC history.
What? Good for her. Hope to see more of her.
Yeah, she looked pretty good. She looked very composed in there. I remember watching her fight Sarah Alpar for the LFA title, and Alpar just kept taking her down and grinding her out to get the win. So when Wu started taking her down, I was like, all right, this would be the path to victory if you're going to beat her. But then Edwards threw up that armbar attempt, which seemed a lot closer if you listen to the broadcast team.
Yeah.
But if you actually watch it, I didn't think it was that close. Casey, you would know more than me.
What was the woman's name that won again? Edwards?
Jocelyn Edwards.
Yeah, Edwards. Who was it? No, Wu was in the armbar. Yeah, it was.
Wu was in the armbar.
Yeah, it was. Wu had to respect it and defend it, but I wouldn't call it deep. It just took a little time. It's one of those armbars you just gotta be patient. You just gotta be patient, keep stacking, don't do anything dumb, and eventually she got out of it. Yeah, it wasn't anything that had any long-lasting damage after she got out of it. It wasn't one of those type of submissions.
We're getting some movement. So I'm gonna switch over to the audio.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, some movement. It looks like maybe.
Oh, you know what's interesting though? I mean, we're talking about Felipe Tafa. I mean, I picked Felipe, so I was happy he won, but I thought Tafa won, and most of MMA decisions. Yeah, most of MMA decisions. I think about 80-20 thought Tafa won too. So
I thought Tafa won.
Me too. That's why I was kind of hoping that maybe that's why I was pushing for that fight of the night, because I knew Tafa kind of got screwed, but
maybe Dana will address that.
Yeah,
if he can remember at that point. Good. By the way, I remember I believe I said, like, on this very platform, maybe in May or June, that I was like, I don't miss the fans that much in the arenas. Maybe it's just because of all the woos and all the craziness, but as the year went on, I started to miss them a little more and more. But what a refreshing change of pace to hear a crowd react to different things. Like, especially the Felipe Tafa fight. Like, the fans into that third round, like, Felipe's firing everybody up, and Justin Tafa's so into it that he forgot to put his mouthpiece back in, and the fans are just going crazy for him. Like, I loved it. It was great. It was like the perfect crowd. It wasn't like 20,000 drunk people. It was like watching a New Japan Pro Wrestling event where they just reacted to good stuff.
It was very, and they were dedicated fans. And like, I'm not sure what I don't know. Maybe Jose knows this. Was there alcohol served at the event? Jose?
I think he switched the audio back to.
Oh yeah, he's canceled right now. I mean, he's muted right now. But I know what you're saying. It was they were the hardcores of the Abu Dhabi fight scene that were there.
It was like an old Contender Series vibe, like in the middle of a Pride event. It was like the middle ground between those, where it was like excited people, but not like overly annoyingly excited. Which I dug. I thought it was just cool to hear fans again.
No booing. They weren't booing any groin shots or anything. They were just, they go, oh, hope the guy's all right. They were. I think they even applauded. I think a couple of reversals on the ground. Yeah, it was very Japanese MMA audience when they're applauding sweeps and proper takedown technique. Like, good job. I like it. So it was fun. It was fun.
But we found out that the Abu Dhabi faithful love Max Holloway. They love him. Max Holloway is a global sensation. Matt Pick and Laura Sanko will be here on the post-fight show. We're doing the press conferences now, so we're waiting the arrival of Dana White. We'll hear from Max Holloway, and then after that, we'll go to a different feed immediately thereafter, and Laura will join us then. And then we're going to answer all your questions and do all that stuff. And it'll be all your questions, by the way. The whole thing will be all about you guys. There you go. We are waiting for Dana White and Max Holloway. And according to the people watching right now, maybe we get them up there together, and then Laura can jump on sooner, because everybody wants to see Laura Stanko, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you for that. She brings a lot to the table.
Oh man, I'm like after these fights are over, I'm just kind of exhausted. You know, I feel like I'm still sweating a bit. It was exciting.
The great John Anik just tweeted out, and this is high praise for Max Holloway. Singular greatest performance I've ever seen sitting octagon side.
It was a good one.
That's almost a decade worth of calling fights. 2011, I think John Anik came in.
He's called
something like that.
He's been cage side for plenty of fights, so I think
he's called a few.
He's called one or two, yeah. So there was something special, even though this wasn't a championship fight. This was just a normal fight night card. There was something special. Like Max Holloway still has, despite not having the belt, he's still. It's just a big name, a big name fighter. You know, like big fight night guy. Like you stop what you're doing when Max Holloway's fighting.
So apparently Dana White is talking with Max Holloway, like right now backstage, according to Jose Youngs, via the magic of the Twitter. So there you go. Maybe we'll get some insight on that conversation. So Dana White is soon to be coming up to the podium to answer questions from members of the media, and then we'll hear from the pride of Hawaii, Max Holloway, after that incredible performance.
So what's our front runner for knockout of the year right now?
It's a good question. I actually thought out of.
I love the Jericho knockout.
I mean, Jericho probably gets the nod just because, kicks do more. I think.
Yeah.
Like punches are. I mean, punches have value.
And the way Buckley fell down, that kind of backwards, like, oh man, those. Because so much into a knockout goes into how you fall down. This is.
Yeah. Puna. I thought Puna's knockout was better than Jing Liang's, if we're being honest. I liked Lee's. I mean, it was a sad one. I think maybe it's just I felt so sad about Ponzinibbio and the road back getting knocked out, but Puna, man, whew, that was impressive. Dusko Todorovic is no joke. Like that's a big win. Probably a much bigger win than people think.
Yeah,
Dusko was no joke.
You know what?
Win. He looked awesome.
It was one of those, like, coming into this fight, I mean, when I saw this on paper, I was all about Soriano. But you guys kind of sold me on Dusko. I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. He is pretty good. So I wound up picking him, but I was like, dang it, I should have gone for my gut. But, yeah, Soriano, like, he's legit. He is definitely a fun watch.
I made my pick solely on the fact that I thought Todorovic would get out of the first round. I thought he'd get himself maybe in a little bit of trouble, but I thought he'd be able to get out of that first round. But Puna proved me and a lot of other people wrong, because I thought the longer the fight went, the more it favored Dusko. But fortunately for Puna, we didn't get to see if that was true or not. So good win for him. He looked fantastic.
Was that a first round finish, or did they go to the second?
That was in the first. I think all the finishes were in the first.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, good card. Had a little bit of everything.
Well, we haven't talked about yet, and it was actually my most anticipated match going into this card tonight was Condit versus Brown. What did you think about that?
Fun.
That was fun.
Super fun.
Yeah, it was something we weren't expecting, but I was pleasantly pleased. It wasn't like the all violence fight that we kind of saw in our head years ago. I think the main event kind of filled that in for us, that void. But as far as that back and forth, but yeah, Carlos Condit, Matt Brown, that was fun.
Super fun fight. It was like what I wanted. Like, they got to show like all of their skills. They both hurt each other a little bit at times. There was blood, but no one like got knocked out cold or anything like that. Like, it was the perfect fight for those guys. Like, I was on the edge of my seat, but no one got badly hurt, and there was blood. Yeah. Like, Condit wore somebody's blood, which is typical in a Carlos Condit fight.
And I felt that's one of those fights that I felt the judges could have got wrong, but they got right. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't know about the 30-27 though.
I had a 30-27, but I expected one of those. But rounds 1 and 3, I thought were very close rounds. Like, round 2 was a very dominant round for Carlos. But I'm losing the details. I gotta remind myself. But I thought Carlos did enough in rounds 1 and 3. I think round 1 that's when he got this. I think Brown took him down and had him in half guard, but Carlos was doing almost all the damage from the bottom and eventually swept Matt Brown and got on top. So even though Matt Brown had the cage control time, Carlos Condit did all the damage, enough damage. And then
that's a good point.
Yeah, that's why. I thought one of those rounds would go to the guy that was just on top, which was Matt Brown, but he wasn't doing enough damage. But I feel what did the media think of that one? Let me look at that.
Yeah, I think I gave Matt round 1 barely, but Condit definitely 2, and I gave Condit 3.
Okay. Every media person picked Condit with 3 people, 3 out of maybe 20. 3 out of 20 giving it a 30-27 to Condit. I gave it a 30-27 too, but I was expecting 2 of those rounds were close.
Not a terrible scorecard.
No. The right person won. I don't really care about the score as long as the right person wins. So, yeah. But, yeah, good fight.
Matt was clearly frustrated by the 30-27s, but not as frustrated as Sarah Moras when she found out that she lost to Vanessa Mello. That look, I was like, what? That was a bad fight.
If you go back in the archives, when Sarah Moras fought, I think Alexis Dufresne, she did one of those looks. That's kind of her gimmick, when she loses or wins, she's like, much like when Ali Quinta fought Khabib, and they announced Khabib as the winner. Remember Al's face? I don't know if you remember that. He gave the faux shocked face, like, what?
Maybe it was the scores. I don't know. So the first fight of 2021 is in the books, and then Wednesday we get to do it all over again with our Q&A starting at 8:30 in the morning,
even
Eastern
earlier.
Standard Time.
I gotta be here at 5:30 a.m. to get this Q&A going.
You're gonna have to sleep for like 2 days.
What is that? Oh no, that's the UFC PR person.
Yeah, I was like, oh boy, someone's up there already.
Yeah.
We're testing it out, and we're gonna ask the cameraman some questions. What were your thoughts on the first ABC card?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna hear from Dana White. I'm sure we're gonna hear about this announcement.
Decision.
The decision.
We needed a great main card like this to forget about the decision. Imagine if all the fights kind of or whatever kind of sucked, and the big topic out of tonight was talking about the decision. That would have been a bad way to start off 2021.
But I had a feeling that once the decision didn't start right off the bat, that we were in some trouble. I was like, all right. The fact that this didn't go down at 3:00 means that it's probably not like a great announcement.
Well, I was hoping I completely expected Khabib to say I'm done, but I was hoping there were not. I think we were hoping some sort of tournament announcement, some sort of this is for the belt, this is for the interim belt now. No, nothing. It was literally nothing. Here we go.
Oh, here he is, UFC president Dana White.
All right. The lighting in here is weird. Holloway versus Kattar was the fight of the night, and Lee and Alessio, they won the $50,000.
Dana, ABC debut in the books. Can't imagine you could dial it up much better for a network television debut.
No, it was incredible. You couldn't script it better. It was a good night. Really happy. A little drained. It's funny. I was telling my guys tonight, as successful as we've been and all the things that we've accomplished over the last 20 years and just coming through the pandemic and all this shit, you still sweat I grew up on ABC's Wide World of Sports, and, tonight was a big deal for us. So to be able to deliver the way, and so if we would have went over tonight, if the fights went long, and we went over, they would have shut us off. It wouldn't have just spilled over because it goes into the local news. So we had to be up. We got off at 57. I mean, the whole thing couldn't play out any more perfect than it did.
That's awesome. Going in, it was just a one-time thing, right? I mean, we weren't sure what the future is. Have you talked to network execs? I mean, have they said anything like, hey, that was amazing, let's do this again real soon?
Well, it just got over. No, but, they wanted us, and we said, awesome, let's do this. And it was pretty damn good. So I told the guys when they weighed in the other day and when I did the fighter meeting, when this thing lined up, when ABC asked for a fight and the dates were lining up and this was the card that was lining up, I was like, thank God. I knew this card was going to be good.
It did, start to finish.
The main card.
Yeah,
the prelims were.
Main card was good though.
Yeah.
And of course the main event was incredible. Can you talk about, Max Holloway, guy looking, as good as he ever has. What do you think about his performance tonight?
Yeah, it's I think that people keep doubting Max and thinking, is old Max going to show up? The guy who's lost a step and all this, and he just doesn't. A lot of people whom we all respect and know a lot about this sport picked Kattar to win tonight. And he and let's give Kattar the respect he deserves too. It takes two to make a great fight, and incredible.
What you make in the fifth round? He's talking to the commentary team and slipping punches at the same time. I mean, what do you make of something like that?
He's fun, man. Holloway's fun. What's crazy is too, I haven't talked to Max about this. I don't know if this is 100% true, but I was hearing that he didn't even spar for this camp. So to not spar for this camp and come out and perform the way that he did is pretty impressive.
Traditionally, when you go 0-2 against a champion, it's tough to get that third fight, right? I mean, we've seen that throughout history. But, man, the way the guy looked tonight, if Volkanovski – I know we still got to do Volkanovski-Ortega, but if Volkanovski were to win, would you at least consider Max for a third fight the way he looked tonight?
I think we have to. I mean, when you're the champion, you have the top 5 guys in the world gunning at you, right? When you're the number 1 contender in the world, you got the top 10 guys in the world. And sometimes number 8 is more dangerous than number 3. Tonight he fought a bad dude that a lot of people thought was going to beat him, and he went out and treated him like number 6. So he did what he needed to do in spectacular fashion tonight, and I think that he deserves to fight Volkanovski again.
Fantastic. The Khabib news was revealed tonight, right? It's funny. You said it was going to be yes or no, and it ends up being a maybe, more or less, right?
Yeah.
So what was your feel walking away? I mean, I know you're hoping for a definitive answer. I guess it's not a no, but what's your feel?
Yeah, and I don't think it was a maybe. I think that, the thing is with him is when you make the decision to retire, I knew that he made the decision under unbelievable emotional stress, and his dad died. He got hurt during that camp, couldn't even train right, couldn't cut weight right. I mean, all the things that he went through, and then went out and performed the way that he performed, and then made that decision that night. So listen, you're not tying anything up. Just go home, spend some time with your family, heal up, think about it. And then he and I got together, and he's like, I want to see if somebody really blows me away and impresses me next week. You got the co-main event and the main event, and obviously Oliveira looked awesome against Tony Ferguson, so that's an interesting fight to him. And we'll see what these guys do this weekend. And I think it's fun. The last thing, I saw a lot of people bitching, oh, he always says he lets people retire and all this shit. What do you guys not want to see fucking Khabib fight again? Holy shit. Friggin' drama fucking queens that follow this sport are unbelievable, but I don't. So hopefully he sticks around and does one more.
Last thing for me, and I guess just to kind of clarify on that. So really all 5 of those guys are in play, as you mentioned, the main, the co-main, Oliveira, and you'll just let him pick it and say, that's the one I want?
To him, he wants to see everybody. He wants to see all these guys fight. He wants to, already said Oliveira looked awesome. That guy looked great, and felt like, he deserves a shot at the title. Let's see what everybody brings next weekend.
Hey, Dana, I know it literally just happened, and you have to sort of let these things play out, but was Max's performance tonight possibly the best we've ever seen? I mean, he got a 50-42 scorecard. He landed more strikes or he threw more strikes ever. Could that have been the best performance we've seen?
He looked incredible, and I see a lot of people. Rogan did a nice write-up on him, posted on social media. The best he's ever looked. He looked incredible tonight, but I thought he looked unbelievable against Aldo. He's had some performances that he looked completely dominant and really just, finished the fight and everything else. He looked amazing tonight, but I don't know if I'd call this his best performance ever, but it's up there. It's one of them.
He shouted it in the cage. Do you think he's the best boxer in the UFC?
The best boxer?
Yeah.
He's one of the all-time greats, period. Fighting. One of the all-time greats.
Is Khabib going to be there to watch the Conor Dustin fight?
No, he's cornering on Wednesday, and then he leaves. So he leaves and goes to Vegas. So I will have the fight and fly home on Sunday, and I'll see him again in Vegas. So those fights will have played out. He and I are going to hook up and go to dinner in Vegas and talk again, and we'll make a decision. And the one thing that he did say is, I'll never hold up the division. Whoever's next, if I decide I don't want to fight any of these guys, whoever's next is next.
So will that meeting be a yes or no meeting?
Yeah.
Cool.
No, he just said he won't hold up the division.
Okay.
So he's either going to fight somebody or he's going to walk away.
Thanks, Dan.
Going off of what you said, that Max has had a lot of great performances. He's also had a lot of iconic moments, like pointing at the ground against Lamas, like teaching Brian Ortega how to block in the middle of a fight. Basically, Roy Jones and Calvin in there. Is Max the coolest fighter in UFC history?
He's one of them for sure. Yeah. It's funny when you say that about Max, and it's so true. Khabib was telling me when I was with him last night that, and I didn't know this, maybe you guys knew this, but all the stuff that him and Gaethje were talking about during that fight. He told me last night that he's never been hit or kicked harder ever in a fight than by Gaethje. And Gaethje hit him with a couple of shots, and then he thought Gaethje looked kind of weird, and he pointed at him and said, "You have jet lag," in the middle of the fight. Gaethje said, "No, I don't," and hit him with an uppercut and a left hook, he said. And then Khabib said something to him again, and he leg kicked him. And then I guess when Khabib took him down and was on top of him, he said, "Now what are you going to do?" And he said, he's telling me all this shit that those two were talking about during the fight. First of all, the fight didn't even go that long. I didn't know how they would have that much of a conversation. But, yeah, and, Holloway is one of those guys too.
Max said he would even throw his name in to replace Connor Dustin if something happened. Would you?
Yeah, I think he deserves to go home and take some time off. I respect it, but no, we're good. We're covered.
There were 3 other finishes on the main card. What did you think of Puna, Li Jialiang, and Alessio Jericho on the main card?
Yeah, I mean, the whole main card was great. It was a great card. Everybody came out and performed. Listen, you get the platform to be on network television on ABC. Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, the list goes on and on of all the greats that have fought on ABC and other great athletes that have played on Wide World of Sports or whatever it may be. And you get this opportunity. And I think everybody made the most of the opportunity tonight.
Did you watch the Felipe Tafa fight on the prelims too?
Yep.
Forehead to forehead. What'd you make of that? That fight.
Tough. Yeah, those guys were rock solid chins and, throwing bombs.
And then finally, Carlos Condit said this was the last fight on his contract. You're going to have to sit down with him and hopefully bring him back to the UFC.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Listen, I love Carlos. Like Carlos is still here. He's one of the all-time greats and one of the OGs around here.
Obviously, it's up to Khabib to decide if he's impressed or not, but will you bring up Max Holloway option the next time you talk to him, given that they were scheduled to fight before?
No, I like him. Max is at 45. I for a long time, I thought Max was a big 45-pounder till he moved up to 55. And I said, oh, shit, he's not as big as I thought he was. I like him at 45, especially after tonight's performance.
You spoke briefly to Kevin Kattar on his way from the cage. What did you say to each other?
To who?
Calvin Kattar.
Oh, I was just telling him what an incredible performance it was. I had gone over to his corner because I thought the fight should have been stopped in the 4th round. And I was freaking out a little bit. I said, he's not going to stop and talk to anybody. We're going to take him straight to the ambulance and send him to the hospital. So then I went over to him and I said, you're so tough. What an unbelievable performance. And he said, that's not what I want to be known for. And he goes, but I'm not going to back down to anybody. And I said, we're going to send you straight to the hospital right now. I don't want you talking to anybody or doing anything. And then he started laughing and thought that was funny. So he's in good spirits. His head was clear. And, our interaction made me feel better. And all's good. I'm hearing everything's good so far. So those kind of fights freak me out.
Dana.
Go ahead.
Dana, so many good fights tonight,
Hey,
mate.
buddy.
So many possible fight of the nights as well, right? But I think what we all want to know is, does Bruce Buffer's fly get 50K? No?
No.
What did you make to having the fans back in the atmosphere tonight?
You know what? It's funny you say that because not the fans, but the fans were fucking awesome, right? What was there in here? 1,000 people? 2,000? They were awesome. We talked about this leading up to this, and you're like, people were asking me, what do you think about the fans? And when I said, I don't know, ask me after, and I'll see how. I can't wait to have the fans back. They were awesome tonight, man. They had so much energy, and it sounded like there were more than 2,000 people. But we're going on ABC tonight, and all right, I'm going to tell you all this shit. All right, so we're going on ABC tonight, and the Fly attacks Bruce Buffer at the beginning of the thing. Prelims were, and I don't know if any of you noticed this, but we didn't do a show open in-house. We fucked up and completely didn't do a show open. So I'm freaking out, screaming at everybody. 20 fucking years we do show opens. There's fans in the arena. What happened after that? Then the mouthpiece falls out and goes in the fucking crack in the octagon during the ABC fight. And I'm sitting there going, what the fuck is going to happen next, man? This is good. So the beginning of the show was a bit rocky, and I was getting freaked out. And then everything just caught its stride, and we got back on. Have you guys ever seen a mouthpiece come out and fall down the crack in the octagon and the ref can't reach it? In the middle of a fight where somebody's about to get finished and we have to wait. Just so I don't know how you talked about the Fly. Yeah. So that's how we ended up here. But yeah, it was a weird beginning to the night. But it all came together.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Dana, to your right.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Just curious, during the conversation with Khabib, did GSP's name ever come up, or even possibly going up to 170 and being a champ?
No, GSP never came up. He's not interested in that fight. And from what I hear today after that, neither is GSP. So that's over.
How many more fans do you anticipate having in the crowd for Conor McGregor? Because it is a Conor McGregor fight.
I think the same. I think it's going to be the same. I think it's actually most of the same people, too. I think they sold packages for all 3 fights.
Congratulations.
Thanks, buddy.
Dana, back here.
Hi.
All the way back here. Sorry.
Hi.
There you go. So this is the 9th time that Holloway fights as a main event. Do you think now he deserves a break, or are you gonna schedule him again as a main event in a couple of months?
Holloway?
Yeah.
No, I think what we do now is you let Holloway have some time off until he could possibly fight for the title again. I don't know if that'll be too long or whatever, but we'll figure it out.
And I have a couple of questions about the 10th anniversary of Anderson Silva versus Vitor Belfort fight.
Yeah.
How important was that fight for the growth of the relationship of UFC in Brazil?
Brazil's always been a hotbed. You know, there's so many stars and so many world champions that have come out of Brazil, not only in the UFC, but Pride and a lot of other organizations. I think that fight, there was always this mystique around Vitor Belfort, you know, and even Anderson Silva, when he became a champion, Anderson didn't really sell at first and had never really blown up to be that big of a. He was doing incredible things. But the night that he kicked Vitor Belfort in the face, the whole thing blew up, and he became a huge star, and it definitely ignited Brazil. But you know, Brazil's been so big for so long anyway.
And my last question is, do you have any fighter, Brazilian fighter, or a match in mind that could just in the future be as big as that one and maybe return and explode the MMA in Brazil?
No, not off the top of my head, but it's there. It's coming. I mean, it's going to happen. There's just too much talent in Brazil. There's so much talent. Somebody's going to come up the ranks, and we'll have another big superstar out of Brazil for sure.
And just a quick one for me. What did you think of the Dietricho Buckley knockout? It was awesome and completely, you know, head kick and yeah. I mean, I don't know what you're looking for. I mean, no, I'm just curious. It kind of shows the craziness of the sport, right? He's coming off a crazy head kick of his own, and then that happens to him. And it's the guy who's on a 3-fight losing skid.
Yeah, 100%. And at the, you guys, I mean, I was going to tell you, you guys are there sitting right in the front row, but, you know, Buckley said, you said you're not scared of me. You better be scared of me. You know, was really trying to get into his head at the stare downs. And then, boom. I just found out that kid was mad. Did you guys talk to him?
We didn't talk to us. He said that because we don't interview losers, we only interview the winners. So he's like, we should be.
I just heard that. It's craziest shit I ever heard. I saw him in the back, and I walked by him and his team. I was like, hey, congratulations.
and they looked at me like, the fuck you want? Seriously, they literally looked at me like, like they lost. And I looked at Brian and said, man, that's an unhappy crew, huh? What the hell's wrong with them? Apparently they didn't know they won. Yeah.
And just one more. You talk about Max deserving a fight with Volkanovski again, assuming he wins. Do you think that's going to be a challenging conversation with Alex to maybe get him on board with that fight? Because it seems like his frustration towards that is kind of growing, and he doesn't even want to hear about Max's name at this point.
I don't know. I mean, listen, he's got this Ortega fight coming up, and I think for a guy like him, watch this fight tonight. He's the number one contender. And like I said to you guys tonight, a lot of people whom I respect thought Calvin Kattar was going to win this fight tonight. And the way they looked, Volkanovski can't even deny that Max deserves another shot.
And speaking of that Volkanovski-Ortega fight, along with the report of that coming out today, there was some talk of maybe Stipe Miocic and Francis Ngannou being the main event for that March 27th card. Where do we stand on that?
Is it March 27th? Is it done? You did it. Congrats.
Oh, there we go. Thanks, Sam.
Yep.
Hey, Dylan, just a quick one. The experience of having the fans there tonight, that hasn't changed your mind on full arenas only?
No, it hasn't. Because let me tell you what, you aren't going to go everywhere and get 2,000 fans in a big arena like this and have it sound like that. This crew that was here tonight was amazing. These people were awesome. I don't know where these guys are from, if they're from Abu Dhabi or other places, but I look forward to seeing them again on Wednesday and Saturday. It was awesome.
Then I'm just wondering if you gauge Khabib's interest in McGregor out of all of those people, because obviously he's been quite vocal in that he feels that McGregor had to get fights to get back to him. How special do you think it is he considers who is number 30 given his father's wishes?
What's the question? I heard most of the things you said, but I don't hear really well. So sometimes they got to tell
It's
me.
the British accent, probably.
That doesn't help.
Did you gauge Khabib's interest in McGregor out of all of those people that he mentioned? I wonder how special he wants the opponent to be for the magical number 30.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, he knows what he's going to be looking for. Listen, Conor said he's going to blow everybody's minds on Saturday. So that's true. And he does that in spectacular fashion because we all know Poirier is not the same guy that he fought the first time. So if he can come out and you can say whatever you want, Conor McGregor versus Khabib, the rematch is a massive fight, and if Conor should win in spectacular fashion, it would even be hard to say that he doesn't deserve the shot.
We was also going to have Leon Edwards and Khamzat Chimaev over here. Unfortunately, fell through again. 8 weeks away now.
Yeah.
How much pressure was on you to change that? Because it seems there was a lot of guys chomping at the bit to fill in the void, but you stayed true to the fight.
Yeah, I just think for both of those guys, it's a great fight. It's a fight that people want to see, and I think it's going to be a good fight. So, I could take some guys in that division that are ranked higher than Khamzat for Leon, but I don't think it draws as much attention and as many people care as they do about this fight. So for both guys, I think obviously for Khamzat, he gets to break into the top 5 with a win over Edwards, and for Edwards, this is a big name fight for a guy who's only had 3 fights in the UFC.
Awesome.
Dana, what did you make of Li Jingyang's stoppage of Santiago Ponzinibbio?
What did I think of the stop?
Yeah, I said, what did you make of the win for Li in general?
Huge. It's huge for Li. Ponzinibbio's been on a tear. He's been off for a couple of years, which is always dangerous to do. That was a legit finish, and I thought that the ref did a great job in that fight too. It was a great stoppage because Ponzinibbio was unhappy about the stoppage.
And given Ponzinibbio's win streak before, obviously the hiatus, where do you think that this puts Jingliang?
Where does this put?
Where do you think it puts him in terms of the division?
Who? Ponzinibbio?
No.
Li?
Yeah.
Oh, Lee's ranked now. I mean, he's this was a big win for him tonight. This was everything for him. Yeah, it was a big night.
Dana, how you doing? Was there one moment that stood out for having the fans back that you thought, it's not the full capacity, but this is worth having 2,000 people in here?
Well, there were a few times actually. During the Condit Brown fight, I can't remember which guy did it, but Condit or Brown, they were on the ground, and one of them flipped them over and got the top position, and the crowd went crazy. Just little things like that make fights fun. And during the fight, they were chanting Holloway, and it's been like a year for us since we've had fans. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been getting comfortable and lazy with just driving over from the office and walking in with, jeans and a t-shirt on and watching the fights. But it was very, very cool to have fans back. And like I said before, this is the same crew that's coming all week. We're in for a fun week. I mean, you can imagine how they sounded tonight. Imagine when Connor and Poirier walk out on Saturday. It's going to be fun.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
All right, there he is, UFC President Dana White. A lot to say there, including saying that UFC 260 on March 27th, along with the fight we already confirmed, the report from ESPN earlier today, we'll see Alexander Volkanovski defend his featherweight title against Brian Ortega on that card. We're also apparently, according to Dana White, going to see for the heavyweight championship of the world, Stipe Miocic versus Francis Ngannou, headlining that card on March 27th. So that's some news. I thought Dana's story about Alessio Di Chirico and his team in the back when Dana congratulated him, absolutely hilarious. And there's Max Holloway. We'll have to talk about that later and put a pin on it.
We're good now. Yeah. It took a while. Why are you guys asking so much questions? Come on. I was back there the whole time.
Well, you heard some kind words about yourself, I'm sure, Max. Congratulations. That was an incredible performance. I mean, talk to us about how you feel after something like that. I mean, we're out here saying, is that the greatest performance you've ever had?
Yeah. I felt great, just blessed to be on ABC, blessed to be have fans back, blessed to be the first card of the year, blessed to have to be here in Etihad Arena the first time, and to be the first main event, and sent some numbers. I found out I hit him 700 something times or something. Like that's pretty cool, so I feel great, man. I was in my bag today. I felt good. Everything was rolling, and I got some of the baddest mans behind me, so that's what happens.
You touched on it, record volume. I mean, that's crazy. UFC history, more strikes than anybody. Did you know that it was going to take that type of fight? I mean, were you planning to come in and have that kind of output?
As long as you can take it, I'm gonna give it. As long as you can take it, I'm gonna give it. As long as the ref lets you stay in there, I'm gonna keep giving it. The fight don't stop until the bell stops. So I just kept punching. Kept punching, and I was telling my coaches, I was kind of tripping out. I didn't know I punched that much. I was like, in my mind, I thought I was like throwing like 10 or 15. I was like, God, like only 10, 15, or even 20 punches around. I was like, why am I getting so tired? And then after I heard the record, I was like, oh, that's probably why. That's right. I got to go back to math. I think third grade math is hurting my brain a little bit. So I'm counting off. Rush is rubbing on me.
And not only a great performance, but I mean, super entertaining. The fifth round, you're out there yelling at the commentators and slipping punches while you're doing that. Let me ask you, I mean, is that just about being entertaining, or like, did you have a chip on your shoulder that you need to yell at people and prove something? What was that about?
People was calling me out, That's funny because I was once known as one of the better boxers in MMA. And this guy was coming up and, he said what he said, He said he was one of the best boxers. Not even him. He didn't even say it. I think some more you guys are saying that he's one of the best boxers. So I was like, I got a chip to do, I had a chip on my shoulder. I wanted to prove that one night boxing is we kind of different. We a little different than these guys. And I got to go out there. I got to do that little thing. I just saw UFC post a clip. That was pretty cool. I slipped a couple punch. I did the no look right hand, and then I told him what because he missed all his punches. So it was I was just having the time of my life, man. It was super fun.
And like I said, everybody's impressed by the performance, and a lot is being made of the fact that you didn't spar. I mean, is that part of it? I mean, do you think that's a big part of why you're looking so good in there?
Like a good legend, Marshawn Lynch said, "Save y'all chickens, save y'all chickens." Right here, you guys only get one brain. Save it. You guys don't need to do it. You sparred enough. You train enough. We know how to punch somebody. You know how to slip a punch. Why are you gonna take unnecessary damage before the main game? You know, and that's just the way I think. You know, and everybody who keep telling me that when I'm on my stream and they come through my Facebook, fb.gg/Max Holloway official, come through live streams, baby. And everybody who tell me I should be training, no, I've been training, baby. That when I play games, leave me alone. I want to play video games. So yeah, please protect your guys' head. If I got to tell an uppercomer coming, be smart, figure out a way of taking less damage. You want to be in this game for a long time. And I want to have more kids. You know, I got Rush, little Rushy Boo Boo, and then I want more kids now. So I want to be around for a long time for them.
Fair enough. Listen, you heard Dana while you're here. Last thing for me, he said title shot probably ought to be next for you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? I mean, you know, Volkanovski, he's kind of said, I'm not interested in Max at this time. I mean, do you feel like that was the kind of statement performance that if he is victorious, he has to fight you?
We see, you know, even with we see what happens, you know, even with Khabib, you know, Khabib is saying that he wants something that's super interesting. You know, maybe I pushed him over the edge a little bit. You know what I mean? We had one of the best press conferences in the world, I think. And we just didn't have the fight, you know, so we could fill that in if he wanted to. And like you said, you just said it. Volkanovski said, this is his words, not mine. He said he wants a different fight. He don't want a tougher fight, guys. Let that sink in. He wants a different fight. He didn't say, I want a tougher challenge. He knew who the toughest challenge is. He knew it's me. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to force someone to fight me. I'm going to stay ready, do whatever I got to do, and just be ready. Like I said, next week, I'm here to next week. If something happens in this crazy, wild sport, don't be surprised, man. Tune in next week to the pay-per-view, a huge pay-per-view. There's a bunch of surprises happening.
Max, how much value do you put on being a champion? Let's say Dana goes to Volkanovski and they can't convince him to fight you a third time. Do you then just go, all right, well, I'll go to 155 and try to fight for a title there? Or do you stay at 145 and just defeat everybody until Alex takes a fight with you again?
We see what happens, you know. We see what happens. I don't know. I can't speak to him. I don't know what would happen, you know. When we get faced with the opportunities then we see, you know. But like I said, to get my first title, I had to win 10 fights and an interim. You know what I mean? Hard work. I ain't scared of no hard work. And everybody know, you know the saying, to be the best, you got to beat the best. And the best is blessed, baby. So bring them all.
A lot of people online are saying that was one of the best performances in UFC history, but certainly your best performance. Do you think that was the best performance we've seen from you tonight?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I was having the time of my life, man. I got to talk to DC a little bit in there. You know what I mean? Letting him know I'm coming for his job. I got to, if you guys watched the opening for ABC, I let John Attic know I was coming for his job. Your guys' jobs ain't safe either. I might be coming for your guys' job. I want it all, baby.
Very good. We spoke to you at the media day the other day, and you said, if I could spar with anyone, I'd like to spar with these boxers.
Oh yeah.
Is that because boxing was in your mind about this fight?
Oh no, I just love boxing. I love the art of boxing. Boxing is fun. Even sparring, I spar some kids back in my hometown. They're all from Wyandotte. They're up and coming. My cousins, Nito Boxing, Asa Stevens, Dallas, KJ Wiley. These are names that you're going to remember because these guys is coming. They're coming as professionals. My cousin, Asa Stevens, has made his professional debut. I got nothing but respect. I ran into Bud Crawford, T-Bud. I ran into him when he fought the night of when Lomachenko fought someone. Who did Loma fight? I forget who Loma fought, but he was at MSG, and I ran into T-Bud, and T-Bud was like, eyeing me up. He's like, hey, what weight you? I was like, 145. I was 145-pound champ, and he was like, I'm the 147-pound champ. I was like, cool. You want to do something about it? Like, you know, let's let them know, you know. All jokes aside, but at the end of the day, I would love to fight those guys. You know, I love boxing. Boxing is a sport that boxing is a discipline I started first, so it'd be good fun.
Congrats on the win, mate.
Thank you.
Max right here. Speaking on that moment where you like slipped all the punches, then threw that right. You like looking back, you've had like the pointing at the ground against Ricardo when you kind of showed Brian how to block in the middle of the fight. Dana himself admits you might be one of the coolest fighters in UFC history. So where do these moments come from? Are they just in the
I don't
moment
know.
right there?
They're in the moment, man. I'm just in, man, the right place, right time on ABC. You know, maybe Muhammad Ali put a little bit of spirit in me or something. I don't know. Muhammad, that was a little bit of Muhammad right there. So it was just crazy, man. It was just crazy. I was in the zone. I felt in the zone. Like you said, like I said, man, this guy, you guys was putting a narrative. His boxing was better. He was putting a narrative that he was older and I was a freshman. But like I said, you know, sometimes there's freshmen, there's true freshmen. And then sometimes there's freshmen that come up and they take your girlfriend. You know, I'm one of those ones that you don't want to mess with me. I'll probably take your girlfriend. I'm one of those freshmen.
Then given everything that's happened in the last 10 or 11 months, what was it like hearing fans chant your name in the middle of a fight again?
Oh, it felt great. It felt great. But fans, please do not call me Hiker Holloway in mid-fight because you summoned him and I got hit because I thought I was on a hiking trail, you know, for a little bit. So you guys, let's just keep Max Bless Holloway in the cage and keep Hiker Holloway doing my hiker videos, please.
You dished out a lot of punishment on Calvin. Would you say that he's one of the toughest opponents that you faced?
Oh, for sure. Calvin's a dog, man. Nothing but respect to him. And he took everything, the kitchen sink, a fire truck, an ambulance truck. I threw everything at him. I probably threw my mouthpiece one time in there if you slow-mo it real slow, but that guy's a dog, man.
And I know you've said that you're happy to be an alternate for next weekend, but Dana doesn't seem too keen on the idea. Are you going to try twist his arm and just so you can throw your name in there?
We'll see what happens. Like, this sport is different, you know. It's a what if, you know what I mean? Like, what if something does happen? What if I do get in there? I mean, you guys can use your guys' imaginations, you know, and I think we all can use our imaginations, and we just be ready, you know. You don't know. You just got to be ready for the opportunities.
Well, obviously you'd be coming in for one of the main event guys. Is there a preference? Someone you'd prefer to fight out of the two?
Nah, no preference at all. Those two guys is hammers. Those two guys is beasts. Those two guys is, in my eyes, legacy fights. So I'd fight any of them.
Thank you.
Max, right here. If there was a few seconds left in that second round after that head kick, do you think you would have finished him there?
I don't know, man. I don't know. That guy was doing some, like, I had him doing the Mr. Robot a bunch of times in all kind of rounds, and he was stood standing. So I don't know. You know, that just show how much of a dog he is.
And you mentioned, I know how much you like to hear about your records and stuff. You said a new one tonight, the most fights in UFC history without ever being knocked down in a fight. Have you ever been close to, you know, getting hurt or dropped in a fight? And if so, what was that moment?
I mean, people are going to say I lie when I say I don't. And then you see like the clips with some of my other fights that, you know, I kind of like whatever fall back and stuff, but I never once felt it, but I don't know, you know, that might be how it feels, that you don't feel it, you know, and it just goes out. So I don't know. I feel good, you know, knock on wood, hopefully not anytime soon. And not sparring is definitely helping that, I think.
Yeah, and 445 significant strikes tonight. You're getting close to that 10K.
10K, baby. 10K. It's coming, bro. I promise. I promise you guys. We got nothing but years left.
Thanks, Max.
Thank you.
Max, right here. You've been training for 5 rounds since 2016. This is your 9th main event in a row. How do you do this? I mean, what's your day at home? Like, do you train all day? Like, and plus those fights in 2018 that got canceled. So you keep training for 5 rounds. Yeah. How do you keep up?
Hard work, dedication, prayers of belief, and a good team, man. My team don't get none of it. All those guys, Rylan Lazarez, Ivan Flores, Michael Nakagawa, Darren Yap, Christopher Daggett. These guys, these names I'm saying, these guys take care of me. These guys make sure they pretty much plan my day for me. Most of them, they put it in my Google Calendar, and then not most of them, all of them, and then I kind of show up. They put where I gotta be at certain times. They put all my doctor appointments I need to be on certain times. So it's just, I got one of the best damn teams sorry, I was about to swear. I got one of the best teams in the world. And if you guys don't believe me, I'm just gonna keep letting my actions speak louder for that.
and after a fight like this, throwing the punches you're throwing and all the combos, does it frustrate you that you can't get the knockout?
Not at all. Feels kind of good to punch someone in the face. I don't know if you ever did it, but hey, it feels kind of nice punching someone in the face, you know. So and not getting arrested or busted for it. So I feel good. I just in there, just let my hands go, and I was having the time of my life.
I might try it one day.
Bless to your right.
It's a schmo.
Hey, is it safe to say if you do not get in the octagon next week, the next time we see you in the octagon, a gold strap will be on the line?
I always see what happens, you know. That's up to the UFC, and I'm just waiting, you know. It's up to my manager and what's the word again? Tell him to do his damn job.
What do you want?
Huh?
What do you want?
I want legacy fights. I want big fights. I want fights like this. We're on ABC. I want history. So it's belt, no belt, whatever it is. You know, I want to fight. I want to fight. The champ is saying that he wanted a different fight. Like I said it earlier. He didn't want a tougher fight. I want tough fights. I want the best. You guys think someone's the best fighter in the world? You guys tell me. Let me know. I'll sign that dotted line. Oh, good. Thank you, guys. Be safe. I feel bad for you guys. You guys get this, then Wednesday back regular time, and then pay-per-view is like 9 o'clock in the morning. So you guys rest up, be safe, do not get sick.
The classy former UFC featherweight champion, Max Holloway. A lot to say there. And congratulations to him. In my opinion, that was the best performance of his career. He seems to think that. Dana White thinks it's in the running, but there you have it. So part one of our post-fight coverage has come to an end. We'll see you on the other side. We have another link going for the post-fight show. Laura Sanko is going to join us, and we're going to be answering all of your questions, all things UFC Fight Island 7. So join us. Look for the link on the Twitter. We'll see you on the other side with Laura Sanko, everybody. Thanks for watching.